There? That's good. You're gonna hand me the list.
Is that your alarm telling you it was 6 o'clock?
It's 20 after 6. What, are you gonna sneeze? Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
There's four.
I need somebody to run the meeting tonight. Somebody want to nominate somebody to run the meeting? Dave's grandma just passed.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay.
Sorry to hear. I'm not very good at it, but I'll
We'll do it.
sure.
Anybody want to nominate Dewey to run the?
I'll nominate Dewey Detmers to run the meeting this evening in place
second.
of Mayor Kimsey.
You have to take the roll. You don't have to move to a different chair if you don't want to.
Yeah, I guess. We're not standing. We're comfortable on.
There you go.
So again, I apologize. I'm probably going to butcher this, but I'd like to call this village board meeting to order, please. May I start with a moment of silence? Thank you. Move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Trustee Mann,
Here.
Trustee Gerger, Trustee Fountain,
Here.
Trustee Detmers,
Here.
Trustee Mao,
Here.
Trustee Scherschel, Village President Kimsey.
And do we actually need to take a vote on having Trustee Detmers serve as chair?
Yes.
We do.
Okay.
Trustee Mann,
Yes.
Trustee Fountain,
Yes.
Trustee Detmers,
Yes.
Trustee Mao.
Yes.
Thanks, Terry.
I'd like to move to a public announcement. I believe there's, Bonnie, if you've signed in.
That's public.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Public comments. Are there any public announcements?
Well, there was going to be a guy here at 6 to talk about the pickleball courts, but
If he
Okay.
comes, we can do it at the end, at the public.
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you. We'll move on to public comments. Yes.
Beautiful. I just had to replace my bathroom fixtures. They are 4 years, 4 months, and 19 days. And I want you to look at them. And then I want you to look me in the face and tell me we don't have water problems. Rested on the inside, all the gunk and everything. I redid my bathroom. I was a very expensive Delta faucet. I had to get a new one. Just had it put in on Friday. And it is already getting line spots on it. taking this to the South Sangamon County Water and showing this to him. So I'd just like some kind of response from you all. What do you think?
It's the same thing we've seen for a long time. I don't know what, I mean,
How much longer are we going to have to put up with it?
well, unless somebody's got $20 million that they want to donate, I mean, we're kind of stuck. You know, we're kind of stuck.
So every 4 years, I'm going to have to replace my faucets.
I mean, if there was a magic pill, everyone on this board would take it. There just isn't one. And I wish there was. But every one of us up here there is no magic pill. There's no magic solution for it.
Get out of it.
There's no magic solution to do so. I mean, we can want in one hand and you know what in the other, and
a thing that showed if he got out of it, we would be paying the same amount per gallon for water. And paying
there's-
off the debt as well. I mean, this is just so frustrating as a homeowner. And costly. Yeah, and costly.
I understand. I own a home too. All of us do.
But I mean, it's just disgusting. Just disgusting.
Thank you for coming in. Bonnie?
You guys gonna have to explain that from walking up here. I got confused on how many times I can talk and when I can talk about what. So you might have to correct me here. Is this just about what's on the agenda?
That's my understanding, yes.
5 minutes for what's on the agenda, correct?
Yes, please.
Some of the things on the agenda, I'm sure everybody that looks at Facebook and all the drama that goes on there is that tax levy. It was not, I think it's time for somebody to fully explain that to the citizens because, of course, Panic City, you're going to raise it 12% already, not moving type of thing. So somebody needs to take the time to do that. Also, it was discussed that there'd be a survey going out and nobody's received a survey. Is it just at random that people are going to get them, or is it going to come in your utility bills? Is it something you have to do online, or can it be done paper-wise? That's been on there, you know, not a spokesman for Facebook, we all know that, but I'm sure most people have read what's been on there. So those are the two things that are on the agenda that seems to be really frustrating the citizens, besides the leaf recycling deal that was going on with the waste haulers. You can't expect them to watch this at home and not grasp at straws on what's going on. So, you know, whether it's sometime in the near future or within the next month or something, I'd highly recommend let's get everybody chilled and see what we can do to get them a little more information about those different products. And then my notepads for the warrants. I'm going to sit down now.
Oh, you could.
The warrants
We
are
can
now.
The
address
warrants
the
are on
warrants
the
now,
agenda
too.
too.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
talk about those? Oh, God. Okay, watch my time. Okay, there's a couple of things. My biggest thing, and you guys know it's been my constant complaint. We spent $500,000 on a backer truck, and then all of a sudden we spent just under $5,000 on a jet head and accessories. A $500,000 backer truck should have came with a jet head. If there's a special one needed, are we talking a root cutter? We talking jet head? Something like that. $500,000 spent, we're still spending another $5,000 and still paying it off. There is from Fletcher and Reinhardt Company, $8,050 for a 110-watt double LED Cobra head fixture. Where the heck's this thing going? I mean, 8,000. You can butt in at any time. I appreciate
Okay, if I may, I'm sorry. I'm new to this, but I had a similar question, and I believe that's 30 streetlights at $320.
That's not very. I mean, now I'm going. Ooh, okay.
Right.
But
Again, I wish to increase that communication there too, and better that so that when you do look at the warrants, you sort of understand it. But I had the same questions.
Yeah, because you know, when I'm trying to
Sure.
look at this,
And I appreciate that you do.
tax money goes,
Right.
I want to know, and it's very vague.
Sure. We'll work on that.
Incorporated. This is the hardware maintenance because I looked up the company for electric and water. We're charged $828.29 quarterly, twice on the warrants. So what I need to know is that one of the 828 for water and one's for electric, which means, $13,000 a year. So is this a maintenance or is it actually the program that reads our meters? Okay. Then Hinston Robinson commercial maintenance, $448. What building? What maintenance? Is this a contract that the village is in with Hinston Robinson to do maintenance on buildings, or was it a one-time thing for a specific building? Because I know some of our buildings are old enough to probably need some maintenance. Again, we had another month, unless this is repeating itself. I'm learning about the warrants with little patience. Citywide Light and Power Water paid $14,500 for another emergency water backup supply. It'd be nice if the word was put out, whether it's for Piper Glen or if it's for the old part town that I live in, is water being supplied for the whole town? And if so, I think notification should be given whether we boil or not. Because then I won't be shocked when I see $14,500. And I guess the biggest thing here, and I'll cut it short because it sounds like we need to drink of water, are the reimbursements. When you guys are getting reimbursed, where is it seen on the warrants? I mean, like, I know I questioned a $400 digging in the grave, told it's being reimbursed. The $80 plaque that you guys are all pitching in for the gentleman, it gets reimbursed. When I look at warrants, I'm not seeing a reimbursement. And Sherry, I don't know where she ran off to, but maybe she could give me a brief answer on
Are these
finding the reimbursements on the warrants.
Yeah, are these simply just expenses though? So the revenues would not be included in the expense report?
When we dig a grave,
Sure.
it's $450, and we're reimbursed for that.
Right, which would be revenue.
Like in my checkbook, if I take something out, there's one line, there's another line.
Right, revenues versus expenses. And this is simply a list of our expenses, not a schedule of the revenues.
So again, if I'm going to come and talk about the warrants, educate me on it. Just don't treat me like an idiot. Just educate
I don't mean to
me.
if you thought that.
All right, thank you.
I do have a question, Pat. A couple of weeks ago, I got 3 phone calls saying there was a boil order for the Blue Spruce trailer park.
Yep.
Why did I get a call?
You shouldn't have. They've made a mistake when they sent it out. The Blue Spruce Trailer Court is a private property. That private property had a boil order. They had a water main break on their service line. Nobody else in the village needed a boil order, but they sent it out by mistake. So I think the second one, I told them to clarify it, that it was strictly the people inside the Blue Spruce Trailer Court, where the first one said in the area of, and I was like, well, define to me what the area is. And they couldn't do that. I said, exactly. So be more specific. And then really I told them in the end, then that the boil order was lifted. That was the third one. But I said, really, for private.
I never got a third one that said it was lifted.
I saw it on the news, so I don't know what your third one was, but.
But what was the same thing? All 3 calls. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I think just to, again, I'm a bit unexperienced in running this meeting, but I think we're all learning that new system as well. So there'll be a few bumps in the road as we, understand the emails versus the text versus the calls. And I think the team is they're working diligently to understand the system. And I apologize that you were notified unnecessarily. Did you have any other questions? Thank you. Are there any additional public comments? We'll move on to the regular village board meeting. Do I have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Mauer.
I'll second.
Seconded by Trustee Mann. All in favor of?
Any comments or before we pass? You guys good?
Corrections to the minutes or anything?
The minutes read fine to me.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Trustee Mann?
Yes.
Trustee Fountain?
Yes.
Trustee Detmers?
Yes.
Trustee Mao?
Yes.
Consent agenda passes. Next on the list here is the warrants. Are there any questions or discussions about the warrants?
That was with a.
Sorry.
That was on the
Sorry, I
consent.
apologize. So, sorry, we need to approve the minutes. Can we move to,
That was part of the consent.
Yeah, we already took
I
care of
see.
all that.
I
You're
got
down
it.
to new business now.
see, I told you I'm rusty here. New business. A resolution approving the Illinois Communities Risk Management Trust Insurance Program renewal.
I'll make a motion to approve that, but we don't need a motion for the resolution, do we?
We do. We just
I'll
have
make
to,
that
if anyone
motion.
makes comments before we pass, does anyone have anything to say about it?
I'll make the motion to accept the resolution.
I'll second.
Motion by Mao, seconded by Fountain.
It's the exact same policy we had last year, is it not?
It is. Some of the values of the properties and stuff were increased. We had them go over everything again, take a look at things, make sure that all of those values are in line. So we went through that with that company, and I think the price went up just a small amount. You'll see if in the attachment that was on there. But the administration's recommendation is to renew that again this year instead of going out for quotes.
Any other questions, comments? Trustee Mann?
Yes.
Trustee Fountain?
Yes.
Trustee Detmers?
Yes.
Trustee Mao?
Yes.
Next on the agenda is a resolution approving a CMT work order for the ground tank improvement.
And I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Any discussion?
I'll second it first.
Okay.
And then this is the additional work to what was like option B or C or A or whatever
No,
it was on the tank painting, or
What this was is, you know how CM&T comes to us and gives me a quote usually, and we bring it in front of the board saying that this is going to cost how much to do that project. Well, when we were in the process of doing the ground storage tank, we signed a contract with them to put the plans together. We signed the contract with them to put the bid package out. They went through all those. This was the actual contract to oversee all the work and make sure the work was all done, the site supervision and everything else, all the checking and answering all the questions in and out in between. That never got signed. We never brought it in front of the board. So they said, we're ready to start submitting bills for that. And I said, well, I don't have a contract in place. So tonight you are accepting their quote of $70,000. Now the bills all haven't come in, and I think what we're expecting those bills to be lower than that quote, but I won't know that till they come across my desk.
this was in the initial budget, the number that they gave us, though, correct?
Yes,
Okay, so we're not going over budget on what was proposed earlier. Okay.
it was.
All right.
The painting and part of the engineering are all rolled into that loan that we took for paying for that.
So why do we have to have this engineering separated out from the initial engineering process?
Some of those I consigned because they were under a certain amount. This one here was over the 20,000 that I could sign for.
And typically with engineering, a lot of times they'll be set up in different phases.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a roadway project, this would be what we would consider as phase 3 or construction engineering. And it's basically a way to keep those separate as a project moves forward.
Okay.
Merry Christmas from them. You don't have to sign contract.
Was it simply, again, just an oversight that it wasn't signed at the initial, or was the timing such that it makes sense to have done this now, even from the beginning?
No, I told them, I said I would have preferred that the stuff would have been, that we would have signed this before all that work was done. But they were in the transition of switching over systems there. And then Ted LaBelle is the project manager for this portion of it. And I think the communication between him and Jim got mixed up on it. And I think he thought Jim had it signed and Jim thought he had it signed. And when those bills started coming in and I didn't have a phase to put it towards, then that's when I realized, I was like, I can't accept these until I get, this thing in place. So it's a formality on our side because, like I said, it doesn't guarantee. It means that, well, really on this, if we went over, we'd spend more than 77,000, or if we went under, we'd spend less than 77,000. This doesn't commit us to spending 77,000. It just is their estimate on what it would take to do the work.
Well, it's a not to exceed bid, so that means that if it was $77,100, then they'd have to come back with another change order for the $100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or we'd make them eat the $100.
Or we'd make them eat the $100, right? Whatever.
In this case, I don't think they reached that number.
Okay.
Very good.
Any other comments about CMT work? May I have a vote to go ahead and approve that resolution?
Trustee Mann.
Yes.
Trustee Fountain.
Yes.
Trustee Detmers.
Yes.
Trustee Mao.
Yes.
Next on the agenda under new business is the property tax levy. I'm willing to try to take a stab at this, but I'm the greenest on the board if anybody else wants to go at it. I think maybe Sherry could augment what I'm about to say, but.
This is just for informational purposes only. There's not going to be any action tonight. The levy was announced last meeting as on schedule. On Thursday, the notice for the property tax hearing will appear in the paper. So a hearing will be held just prior to the board meeting on December 11th. And this is the tax levy and ordinance form, which you can see up there. Also, what will be need action on December 11th is the abatement of the property tax associated with the electric bond. So that's there for to review between now and then. And pretty much that is about it.
Yeah, I think there are some questions about, what it means to increase our tax levy by 12% and what effect might that have on a citizen, any like random person such as myself or.
Really, 12% is just an estimate. It's to try to capture all the annexation and new construction that has come into the village of Chatham. Since we don't have any idea what that number is, we estimated high in order to be able to capture all that growth. Our actual tax rate is going to be around 46 cents per $100 of EAV. So I think for a $200,000 house, I don't have my sheet in front of me, but I was thinking it was around $300.
Yes, that's the number I recall.
Really, it would probably, there'll be cents.
Yeah.
Between our share of this property tax from last year compared to this year. The village of Chatham only represents about 7% of a person's property tax bill.
If you go to the county's GIS webpage and you click on your parcel, and it gives you all your information there on your tax bill, and it shows you all the different entities you pay taxes to. So, you may have a tax bill of $6,000, but 230 of it is what the village gets. And from that 230, we run our police department, our street department, and our parks. So
my understanding, again, being new, is that this increase of 12% may have been a little misleading because just generally our bills will not go up 12%. Our bills will remain roughly the same unless you've done improvements on your house that increased your home's value. Other than that, these new revenues, this increase in revenue overall is due to the annexations that we've made, bringing new properties, new buildings, new facilities into the village that weren't here last year, and those revenues now are increasing our tax collection.
And it,
What is required by law for us to put in the hearing notice is that we have to look at the tax levy as a whole, what we're bringing in or whatever, the property that was in the village last year versus this year.
like Sweetbriar was added this year.
Right, but if we were to double the size of the village of Chatham in a year, then this report next year would show that the tax levy increased by 100%. Like our bills literally won't double. It's just that the revenues of the village will double because we've doubled the properties amongst the village. Yeah. Within the village.
and this increase is only on the village's portion of a tax bill.
right? Which is pennies on the dot, like literally, it's very, I don't mean to say insignificant,
For every
but
dollar, tax dollar,
not a lot
that
of
you
money.
pay, 6 cents comes to the village.
And that 12% or so is based on that, is then applied to that 6 cents, give or take.
No, not to us individually, but to those people that have now entered the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct, but
Yeah.
why I'm saying it does not apply to the school portion
No,
or the township or fire district. It's just the villages.
There will also be, in addition to the hearing notice, there is another notice in here that tries to describe what the approach to the property tax levy, and that really the 12% is not what we're going to be charged, or is not, our rate is not increasing.
Yeah.
It's just the property within the village.
In the school district and the fire protection district, I think they all do the same thing. They have to have a public hearing, they go through it, they levy theirs because they want to be able to do the same thing that we can. You got new things inside of your limits, you want to be able to capture those, you know, new construction. So.
So there will be a public hearing prior to the December 11th village board.
5:45 prior to the village board.
I hope that helped clear out some of the confusion or questions that are out there. Number 4 this was just an announcement tonight, right? So we don't
Right,
need
we
to.
wanted to put the draft out there so it could be out there for a couple of weeks for people to look at. Okay.
Great. Thank you. Item number 4 under new business is any public comments not necessarily pertaining to the tonight's agenda.
So I can just not begin if I want? Oh,
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
I just had a question. I was out on South Main Street.
Sorry, if I may.
Question and answer, it's public comment.
Sorry.
It's not question and answer, it's public comment. So you
Bonnie,
can make comments, but we don't have to answer.
Bonnie, could I ask you one favor, though? I often listen to these online, and I think others might as well. If you could come near the microphone, I would appreciate that. I'm not trying to be difficult.
I know how much you like the microphone.
It's just, it's difficult to hear if you're not near the mic.
I know, I just got a text that they couldn't hear me, and that's unusual. Because I know we don't get answered. This is public comment, just something I noticed. I was out on South Main Street the other day, and the village owns property out there. And I know that some of it's storage out there. There's like 2 or 3 buildings out there. Is it like 38 acres or something like that out there? And I wasn't sure what that storage was used out there for. If it's for village equipment only, if other people are able to store things there, or just strictly, is that where we take our limbs to dump when you guys allow us to? So I wasn't sure what that whole area was about, but I guess I can always send a little request hoping that somebody answers. Thank you.
Are there any further public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to the scheduled meetings. The first is the Utility Oversight Subcommittee meeting at the Municipal Hall at 6 p.m. December 10th. Followed the Village Board meeting, 6 p.m. here as well, December 11th. Again, I want to point out that there was that hearing also scheduled with property tax levy, 5:45 that same day, December 11th. Committee of the Whole, 6:15, December 11th. ADA Transition Plan Committee meeting, 6 p.m. on December 18th. Is that so?
Yes.
Great. Chatham Police Commission, 5:30 here as well, January 23rd. Planning Commission meeting, 6 p.m. December 20th. Village Board meeting, 6 p.m. December 26th. Public Properties and Recreation Committee meeting here as well, 6 p.m. January 14th.
And just to make an announcement, as far as December 11th, I may or may not be here. That is the due date of our first grandchild. So depending on when she decides to come forth, will depend on whether we're here or down in Mississippi.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very cool.
I'm having a great grandchild on December 24th.
Cool.
It's a race.
My grandson said to me, Nana, you know what you're getting for Christmas?
Cool. I hope it arrives on time. Do we need to move to a closed session this evening?
Not this evening.
Great. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mao, seconded by Fountain. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Dewey, for
Thank you.
running the meeting.
Sorry.
No.
It wasn't too bad.